Hi, and welcome to the second hour of Mindshifters Radio. And today's Thursday, December 18th, 2025. And we welcome you to the show. Welcome, Michael. Mute, I will say welcome, Susan Bingham. Bless your heart. How are you feeling today?
Yay, Susan.
Hey, gee, I'm getting a lot of credit for being, I should, I have my video on by accident. I'll show you. I'm in bed. Yay!
Oh, you look all nice and warm and cozy and ready for Christmas.
I
Got
know.
your Christmas colors on and everything. I would
Right.
think you were an elf if I didn't know any better.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's a little croakiness in there.
How are you feeling?
Very well.
Oh,
But it's
that's awesome.
partly because my daughter and husband are making sure I'm taking these painkillers before
Right.
anything starts going south. And
Yes.
I've been told that helps with the healing. Even Cami said, no, Carrie said, not Cami, but she might agree. Carrie said that the other day in our support group. I visited the support group for 2 seconds on my walker. I'm going up and down stairs and doing my little exercises.
That's
And
amazing.
isn't it amazing? I have this.
The technology and the skills and
I
just,
know. I guess he did a good job, Mr. Surgeon. So
yay.
my kids are going to leave a little early. They've got, they came up here in spite of very busy schedules, so they can get home, and I'm pretty much good to go. So thanks for asking. And I listened to Friday's show again and Tuesday's show again because I was having trouble figuring out what was happening, and it finally came through. I told Dr. Tim I had some questions, but I think we're okay now. The business of the breath, those two shows really have helped me understand what the breathing does. For me, it just opens things up so that I can be open rather than triggered. And then from
Awesome.
there, I can get some actuality, perhaps. So,
Well, for me, the insight that's just been sort of blooming for me is that we've been given this definition of breathing as, you take in air, you get oxygen, you live, you don't get oxygen, you die, and that's it.
yeah,
And my estimate at this point is that that's about 10% of the definition of breathing. And of course, we can only use anything for the depth of our definition of it. If I think that, a car is something to decorate the driveway that I don't know I can drive around town in, and I don't know I can load things in, and I don't know I can carry things, then the car sits there and it decorates the driveway.
yeah,
But when you realize that it is the carrier of life and intelligence and healing,
yeah.
now we've got a 100% definition. And so that's what I named, and I'm learning to understand it myself more as I breathed this morning and realized I've been languaging this thing of the kudsha factor, and I'm just watching each time I breathe now. When it kicks in, it's just like boom, there it is, and it changes everything. And like I mean, all the years of working with breath, I thought about, I was using it to decorate the driveway. That was about it. So it's a whole different game now for me, at least. And just an awesome, amazing one. When I think of all the things they told us about this Greek idea called a Holy Spirit, and all the gifts and the wonderment, and it's going to teach you and reveal. When I realize it's got nothing to do with a ghost from the sky, that it's our breath, and reclaiming that is just, whew, exciting for me. I hope it's as exciting and functional for everybody else.
I'm sure it is. I don't understand the breath as deeply as you do, but I do sense as soon as I consciously breathe, I'm back open again, and the triggers can calm down, and I can be present. And I don't know whether active love is present or not. I just feel more open, as if I can take it from here without baggage from my past.
Well, that's, again, I've spoken a few times since I first had this opening about the definition of the word haole in Hawaii, and that the Hawaiians had and people might be getting tired of hearing this, but I'll repeat it anyway because it's meaningful in terms of getting to depth. But that and I don't remember, I need to look it up so I do understand this, the word they use, but they have a word that they use that is a ceremony. If you and I met, the first thing we would do is we would touch forehead to forehead and we would breathe each other's nasal air. That would be our Hawaiian greeting. And the word haole is applied to the white man in Hawaii, and it translates into greets without breath, i.e., sticks their hand out to check for weapons, and there's no breath involved in the process. And my understanding, my take is that when we greet without breath, when we think without breath, when we look at an issue without breath, when we try to accomplish something without breath, we're doing it without intelligence, without
Michael,
healing power.
Question. The name Hawaii, is that a new name? Did that come about after
haole.
the white? Sorry, I didn't
haole.
get it.
Yeah, it's haole is the word that they use for the white man. And it's something that came from, I don't know when, antiquity.
The missionaries.
Yeah, it goes back to the early days, and that's how they described the white man, was as a haole. And
so the country is named for that now?
No, it's not Hawaii. It's haole, like a dog howling. Haole.
Yeah, okay. Gotcha, sorry.
I think it's Haole, I believe is the way it's spelled.
Okay. All right.
And so they use that word to describe a person who didn't have life in them, didn't have breath in them, did not have their lives revolving around the breath, which the Hawaiians did, at least in their greetings and in circles. I don't know how far it extends, but in the circles where they cared for each other and greeted each other warmly, they greeted with breath. And so I'm realizing that word haole could mean greets without intelligence, greets without compassion, greets without human faculties. If you look at what the Hawaiians today say, and I'm saying this from direct experience because I've heard it out of the mouths of Hawaiian individuals, they speak about how the missionaries came, and here's what they say: the missionaries came to do good, but they did well. They came and had Bibles, and we had land. Yeah. Today we have the Bibles and no land. That's a haole. And you take a look at, what oftentimes ends up running the political world, and it's the haole. Greed, take anything you can get, doesn't matter who you damage, who you hurt, who you slaughter, who you put in prison camps or anything else. That's the haole.
Well, as you may know, Hiram Bingham was one of the first missionaries to go over there. He's in the bad camp as far as you're concerned.
I did not know that. Well, not as far as I'm concerned. I don't have an opinion. I wasn't there. I'm just repeating what the Hawaiians say.
Well, what I want to say is, I asked Tim Bingham about that because you told this story last week about the Hawaiians who came to do good, and they did very well. My particular Binghams did not do very well. They were poverty-stricken. They worked very hard. And so I just want to say, whether true or not, they weren't among those greedy missionaries.
Right. They probably were breathers.
Who knows? Anyway.
I suspect that would, my take is those who move with compassion and caring do that because there is the breath of the Creator in them, because there is that life force that sets and functions from Brahma and Kuba and compassion and caring. And unfortunately, there was a faction who ended up, they own most of the plantations in Hawaii. The Hawaiians have been thrown off their land and are very much like the Native Americans here.
Yeah.
They are strangers in their own land, in their own home.
Yeah.
You
Well, I
know, if you
know.
look at the treaties in America, I would venture to say that most of the treaties that were made with the Native Americans were made by haoles, because if you look back, I don't know what the percentage is, but even the government itself admits a very high percentage, like I think something like 80% of those treaties were broken. That would be a treaty made by one who does not interact with or come to another with compassion and caring, but with held breath, and therefore functions from self-interest and greed. And of course, there are a lot of missionaries. I mean, if you look at the condition the world was in 100 years ago, the starvation levels and all of that, oh, we are so much better off because of those true missionaries who I would offer went where they went truly from breath, from compassion, from caring, rather than from the haole position.
Yeah.
And it's such an easy thing. I mean, some people laugh about the idea, but it's such an easy thing to experience. Just try breathing for a while and let that Takuchi factor kick in and watch what happens to your trauma or your pain. It changes. Miss Carrie,
Hi
you
there.
want to join the conversation? Hey.
Hi. Yeah, I just kind of wanted to add that um, that so that people don't think that, you're the only person advocating this aspect of the breath. And
Right.
that your awareness, is of course very special and very meaningful to us who are kind of following your tools. And that this is becoming more and more universally recognized. There are so many people who are uh, gaining this understanding. It's like that thing about universal consciousness, where one person realizes things and a whole bunch of other people do too. So um, it's been part of, I think, deeply spiritual teachings forever. And that as we are beginning to raise our consciousness, we are becoming open to that awareness of the breath. So I think that as you have elevated your vibration, raised your consciousness, and all of that, you have been open to receiving that information about the breath. So congratulations on that. I think it's awesome. And I want people to know that it's a universal spiritual practice that is deeply connecting. And I'm doing some meditations at the moment from the Palladians. And the first one introduces you to the breath work in the meditation and in the connection between Gaia and the universal life force energy of love. And then the second initiation, I've been doing it for 2 days and it's unbelievable. And the breath work that they do in that is deeply connecting. And so I guess I just wanted to say that it's not some Michael Ryce thing, it's actually a universal thing. And I'm not meaning that to put you down. I'm meaning that to tell people, yes, Michael, what Michael's doing is like he's right on track. That's all.
And for me, the realization is, many people will often say to me, Michael, what you do, this is so great. So it's like, all I'm doing is bringing forward the Aramaic Yeshua. And this isn't my insight. When I got to the translations of the Aramaic, there it is. I mean, that's what opened me up is there it is. This is the sum and substance of what Yeshua taught. That passage where the Greeks tell us he breathed on them and they received the Holy Spirit is just false. It's just a fraud. Go back to the Aramaic Yeshua. He breathed them and taught them about the fullness of the breath and said, there are many gifts that will come to you from your breath if you'll stay connected with it. What's been labeled as the gifts of the Spirit, like there's some kind of ghosty thing that's going to come and give us something. It's just not true. But if we engage, and again, I have a whole new appreciation for the first beatitude that says, make your home in the breath and these eternal forces from the Creator, and expand your definition. I'm learning to expand my definition to realize, it's not just the car sitting in the driveway for decoration. There's a whole lot more you can do with it. The breath is way bigger than bringing in oxygen. So I'm with you 100% on that one. And I am so deeply appreciative of the fact that Yeshua brought that to us. And some people may laugh about it, and that's okay too, but so, Miss Susan, any other thoughts for you? I'm delighted that it's meaningful and you're befriending it and that you're experiencing a shift. That's awesome.
Thanks. I have a very good friend who just got back from missionary work in Egypt. And she said it was just the most joyful thing. She said Christians often talk about how if you don't learn about Jesus from the Bible and stuff, you're in bad shape. And she said that is not true. Jesus shows up everywhere where people are open. And she was one of those who was quite a fundamentalist when I first met her. But she came home so inspired because the experience there is just like what you say, and what Carrie was saying, is that spirit is available. It wouldn't be withheld. We can make terrible messes of things, but the real stuff cannot be destroyed. And it's going to triumph after a while. And so she's writing a paper about it. And it's just inspiring to hear. She doesn't address the breath idea at all, but she said people are just coming around. That isn't going to be a limiting factor after a while. The exclusivity issue is off the table. So
Absolutely, it is off the table. And that passage where Yeshua talks about shutting down the breath, the Greeks use the word blaspheme the Holy Spirit and call it the unforgivable sin, based in a whole theology of condemnation and guilt and eternal punishment by this creator called love. And when I put all of this together, and then I hear Yeshua saying, blaspheme me all you want, it's irrelevant. That's his teaching. He says it. I mean, it's there in the book. It even comes through in the Greek. But don't blaspheme the one. Don't speak against. Don't deny the one that I came to connect you with. And that's Rukatakucha.
I think one of the most
Not a
impressive,
spirit being, but your breath.
one of the most impressive things about my friend is she said, there is no judging of the ones who have messed up the word. She said, we're just going ahead and not turning back to mention how bad this was and how bad that was. And she said, we're just going forward with the rich stuff, and the other stuff will just fall away on its own. And that judging them actually makes for more trouble.
I'd go with that 100%.
Yeah.
And for me, why I'm emphasizing it for me is because when I hit the stark realization that I've been tricked,
Mm-hmm.
I'll begin to value what I was tricked out of as much as what I was tricked into. And many people in the religious arena they have this wondrous, sweet, Holy Spirit relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And when they realize that that wondrous street relationship is not designed to be with a ghost of some kind or a disembodied spirit being, but it is with their own breath. It's like, to me, it's like getting back a cherished gift when I realize what I gave away or what was really taken when the words were changed. It's such an awesome, precious gift and can be counted on for anything and everything that needs to be worked through. Amazing. Is that making sense for anybody else? Is that anybody have any thoughts to share? How does that resonate for you?
I have a thought.
Great.
I've really appreciated all the dialogue over the months. And I made a recent trip to Hawaii. I spent over 2 weeks on the island of Kauai. And
Nice.
every place I went, I was asking myself, sitting with breath. It was my intention in going over there was to greet with breath every moment of every day to the best of my capability. And it was such a peaceful and awake state. There was so much more to see and so much more to hear than I'd ever been able to see or hear before. And as we're discussing the missionary thing, I was a missionary, but I didn't call it that. I was with a medical team, and our mission was to go into Nicaragua and to help these people who had been tribal medicine only, and teach them just as much as we could about sanitation, about agriculture, just how to farm, how to grow their own food, and bring medicine. So the mission, the mission started out as we were going to go be helpful. It did not take long before the Nicaraguan people showed us that we could do an exchange of information, but they were not interested in being fixed. And they were very clear about teaching us as much as we taught them. And what was amazing, I did many, many, many trips to Nicaragua between the age of 16, maybe 15, all the way through my mid-20s. And what I found, and I was very close to the team of people who would go back every year, what I found was these medical doctors who had gone in, with their arrogance and their medicines, and we're going to go help the people. came back so different. They had different political orientations in this country based on the way we had dealt with Nicaragua as a country. They had different ways of viewing their own religious background. They had changed in their awareness of how brilliant the native people are. And, you know, it was just amazing to watch the Nicaraguans grow and become more empowered, and watch the Americans grow and become more humble and become more teachable and become more able to honor and respect. It was amazing. And I have been consistently with this group over a period of like half my lifetime. And so I've been able to watch year by year by year the changes in both the Nicaraguans and the Americans. It's astounding. It's just, I could write a whole book just about that. But I no longer saw myself as missionary. The word didn't have any meaning at all. I guess it never did. But humanitarian, showing up with breath, is what we actually became. And I guess I wanted to say all that because, number one, to honor this teaching. Number two, to honor all of you. And number three, to honor the journey that has been uniquely my experience. And love being here. I love you all.
Accepting the presence of your being and your love as part of our community. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And returning it, extending it back in your direction.
Thank
Awesome.
you. I feel you.
Miss Linda, how are you, young lady? I see your hand is up, or your microphone's open.
Oh, I'm good. I'm also always excited to talk about Hawaii.
Tell us about your experience there. Did you ever run into the word haole and get an understanding of what it meant?
Oh, yeah, definitely. And
You
it's
were
very
one, right?
interesting. Only
You just cut out for a second there, Celinda.
I just wanted to make sure that I was unmuted.
Okay, you're loud and clear. You started to say, and then your voice cut out for a second. So,
okay. What I started to say, it's very interesting that the only ones who are called haole, from my experience, were Caucasians, which fits precisely into this whole conversation about missionaries, etc.
Yeah.
We go in thinking we know. And I can say that personally. I go in thinking I know. And the most exciting and humbling and where I meet the most resistance within myself is when, whenever I happen to really think I know and I'm right, and the other is not correct, and I'm the teacher boy, and I'm going to show them by how much,
I've never noticed
how
that,
incorrect they are. Yeah, I've noticed that in myself, and that I'm also noticing that humility, to be a true teacher, I have, it would be wise if I do what so many of the Eastern adepts do and say, I know nothing. My little brain, even if I'm hanging out in my right receptive 10,000 bits of sensory information in 1/27th of a second, do I really know anything compared to the 20 trillion that are bits of information, sensory information that are out there that I can't even see?
Yeah.
So it's it brings the for me, it brings the empowerment back to myself. How am I disempowering myself? How am I disempowering others? And one of the most powerful way I disempower others is when I confuse what's true for me with what's true absolutely and in the actuality. And so I'm just looking at all of that and trying to get out of anyone else's way, because their way is not my job. I'm sure the Holy Spirit is definitely capable enough and able enough to take care of us and guide us and allow our resistance, if that is what it is, or our standing in place for us, because it has given us the power to be creative and to create everything
Breathing
that pertains to us. Yes, and breathing is one of my primary tools.
It's a big one.
And if I'd stop talking, I could breathe more, right, Michael? And well, I am breathing. I am breathing. I am breathing.
Oh, awesome. By the way, Friday we found out is a half day of school. And so Friday we're going to have both of the kids during radio show time. And so we'll have to put off until Monday the worksheet that you and Jeannie are planning to do, if you're available Monday.
No. Oh, for sure. That's wonderful. As long as I can get on in the morning. Our lives tend to be a little bit living in the moment, but that's fine. I am
understand.
Totally committed to doing that worksheet with Jeannie. I'm excited to explore that. And who knows what the goal will
Jeannie's
be
got
that
something
day.
to put in. Yeah, Jeannie's got a thought to put in.
School is out all next week, and we have them Monday, Tuesday, and Friday next week. So
we're going to have to go to Wednesday then.
Yeah, and that's Christmas Eve.
You know what? We don't push the river.
Okay, we'll see how it unfolds.
It's all sweet. It's all sweet. Don't worry about a thing. You just have the best life, and in this moment of time that is eternal. And enjoy this holiday.
Thank you.
And you. Yeah, and everything else can wait. We are safe. We are one, and we are taken care of. Did I get disconnected? I didn't. That's strange.
No, you're there. I don't know if Michael's muted and talking. I'm sitting here bouncing Lincoln, singing monkeys on the
Okay. I was asking Carrie if she had something to share. Her microphone's open. Hello, Miss Carrie Lee.
Oh, hi. I was on mute, actually. I don't know why it was showing that my mic was open.
All right, cool.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, then the floor is wide open. It's 1:37, so we've got about 23 minutes left. And does anyone have anything to add to the conversation or subtract from the conversation or to put into the space? Push the mute button and share it with us. Not everybody at once, though, please. Well, then, Does anyone have a topic, an issue, anything you'd like to look at, anything to address at this moment?
I'll speak up.
Please,
Yeah.
come on in the
Oh
house.
my gosh, when is this going to end?
You know, how long have you been away? I keep
Jesus.
going back to that one. That whenever whenever I come to the edge of frustration, it's like, yeah, how long have I been away?
Yeah, it's just like, all right already. I'm done. I feel today, right now, I'm in a mood of feeling done with all of this. Oh my gosh. So, I think I found, I couldn't sleep last night.
Breathing with you.
Been awake all night. Yeah, I found, I think, an anxiety piece that's been with me my whole life. And it just was hidden. And
Breathing.
lots of decisions I made. You know, probably from that place. And I talked to my other Michael this morning who pointed it out in detail. What he witnessed and observed since knowing him for the last 5 years or 4 years. Coming on 5 years. And it's true. So and my body's just going through a big release right now. All these, I guess finally being brought to the surface. And so many memories about that it wasn't safe, right? And this whole fawning thing, and anytime I perceive, I was saying to Dr. Tim this morning, I experience love in your presence, I experience love in his presence, but when I noticed when he mentions or talks about you, there's a charge. So the minute I perceive a charge of a negativity or in my perception, then I go into panic because that's danger to me. What's coming next? And it's the nervous system is already reacting.
Breathing with you.
And my need to bring safety by, being over responsible. And being
What's
in
happening?
everybody else's business.
What's happening?
Yeah, just discharging it in the body, I guess. I'm feeling disoriented and like I'm not even aware of this piece. That's it's been a part of me. It's been hidden. I've been walking in this world with this deep anxiety and not even knowing it.
Yeah, the dissociated mind is an interesting thing just to confront and start to just get safe enough to start to even look at it and acknowledge it's there. It's huge.
Yeah, wow. I'm in shock actually. And yet somebody on the outside, Michael, really reflecting that to me of what his observations and what he's been seeing. It's pretty darn clear now. Oh. So yeah, that's what's up. Cried all the way through Dr. Tim's show. All through this one.
So are the tears about grief? Are the tears about loss?
You know what?
Are you in touch with what's behind them?
I think there's many. I think all of that grief and loss, and just walking and this freaking danger zone. Everything's unsafe.
Mm.
And making decisions constantly from that place, unconsciously. And everything I see, you know, it's coming from a place of fear. You know, it's an absolute place of fear. It's not from a place of being resting in Ruka, that's for sure. And so the body's, I think, is just discharging all the times I was hit, and you know, all the stuff that I had a visual of my mom throwing me in a room, and I don't know how old I was, but just, you know, hitting me or something, and then just leaving me in the bedroom, not just a little person. And then I could feel the anxiety that I probably am feeling on the body. So I think there's many of those where I just dissociated, left the body, but the body still holds a memory.
Yeah.
You know, so that's what's in the awareness, like, holy cow, all of those moments of those events happening. And, you know, some of these moments I wasn't even consciously aware of, to be honest with you. I didn't even know this. These memories are just coming to the forefront now.
Yeah. Let's go for a holy breath instead of a holy cow.
Yeah, holy breath. Thank you. Holy breath. Yeah, it is a holy breath. So the body and all the, you know, this tension on the right side of it, also this big block in my sacred heart. Oh, this is what's up for it right now. Yeah. And then just the feeling of, okay, like it seems, you know, I've been really good since they started doing the codependency. Okay, bring it on, I'm good. Let's just face the next layer. This one seems a little more, yeah, it's at the tipping point, this particular one.
Well, and you recognize, you know, oftentimes those tipping points come when we've hit a new level of clarity and a new layer of vitality.
Yeah.
Did you hit one of those?
Well, I've just been consistently growing, I would say, and just consistently finding places of sovereignty, you know, being in my presence and my own presence, even with when I, you know, spoke to Tim on the call the other day. That was a really big deal because, you know, I saw the memory, you know, sticking up for my brother, and I got beat up after,
Right.
right, that. So then
Right.
here I was saying that, you know, I want to say something that I perceive as my truth. And I'm, you know, I was really scared that, and I even said that I went back and listened to the transcript. I don't know if you can receive what I'm going to say. And there was definitely fear in there. And then also coupled with, which I said to Dr. Tim today, which Cami really helped me see last night, was that need, because there's discordance between the leader, the power in my little mind, mom and dad. And there's got to be harmony, because harmony's safety.
Mm.
So this overriding need to really, it's an overriding need to bring harmony, so I feel safe.
How about a mind shifter?
Sure. Okay, shoot.
It's easy for me to stay connected to my breath. Especially in the spaces where there's conflict and disharmony. And what's happening with your breath right now?
Yeah, it's constricting. I'm just making sure I've got it written. So it's easy. I just said it's safe, easy, and healing for me to stay connected. Yeah, I'm just getting really constricted. To stay connected in my breath. Especially when there's spaces of conflict and disharmony.
And notice where you're tightening. Oh, so your throat's doing your jaw.
Yeah, my jaw, just right down here in my center of my core, my right side. So that's how I'll do this today. See where this takes me. Oh man, oh man. I think this is the deepest one yet.
Yay.
Yes.
We honor you and hold the space for
Yeah, thanks everybody. Oh
all of it to open.
boy, oh boy, yeah. Okay, I'll report. I'll report back. Oh,
Breathing
thanks.
with you.
Yeah, thanks for listening, everybody. Just gonna just sit in silence for a while.
Okay. We be here.
Carrie has her hand up.
Go for it.
Deep breathing and much love for you, Susan. And I have a prayer for you that you know that your true nature will be revealed to you through the breath. And I also want to acknowledge you, Michael, because there are very few teachers out there who spend the time with people to uncover their trauma and heal themselves in such a personal way that you do. And I feel that that is one of your unique gifts to us and to the world. And I'm deeply honored to be in your presence. Thank you.
Smoke and mirrors, remember? You can only see the qualities that you truly own through your mind. So I join you in being able to own those qualities and to bring them to the world. It's time. It's time.
The gift of the shift of one person shifts so many. And many teachers try to teach thousands of people at a time. So they lose that connection one-on-one in a visceral way. Yet I think they also provide a really good teaching and function. And I just think that having a teacher who is willing to be vulnerable as well and put yourself out there and to be with individuals and people is something that is shifting the whole matrix, the whole lifting the veil of the whole. So each one of us, as we do our work through your tools and your awareness, we are also shifting, not just ourselves, but the whole matrix, the whole web around us, so that those vibrations ripple out into the world in so many different ways. I guess what I'm saying is it's not necessary to have thousands of people, that the way you're doing it, you are bringing this to every heart, mind, and soul on the planet through that energetic outpouring. That's what I see.
Well, that's exactly what I'm here to do, at least to the best of my ability. And of course, there's always the side benefit that, like everyone, I draw people who reflect my issues, and I get to do my work too. And I love how the Course says, millions yet unborn are going to benefit from the work each and every one of us do.
So I
So,
hope you don't I hope you don't perceive that as fawning, because it's not given in that spirit.
I hear you.
It was a realization that I had, having had so many other teachers, and just wanting to acknowledge that, because as I see, us as individuals going through our traumas, that patient acceptance is very unusual, and it's very meaningful to me. So I just want to thank you. So there I am going in there again. Thank you. And thank you,
Thank you for saying
Susan.
thank you.
And
Receive
thank
it.
you. And Susan, thank you, because throughout this whole process, all the time, you have been so open, and the trauma that you are going through and bringing back up shows an incredible bravery. So I honor that in you. And one of the things that I recognized when you were talking today was that I have a fear of asking. I have that fear, of asking Jim, what do you see in me? So I'm going to step into that and uncover some more of what I need to see and heal. Thank you, Susan.
And my input in that regard would be, that was the piece we covered last night in the codependent session, is asking your partner what your power person dynamic is.
Yeah.
Is to be aware that they're going to see it through the lens of their own perceptual constructs, and to make sure to stay connected with the breath and the presence of love, so that anything that's true that's offered, that's a healing opportunity, you get to breathe through and move through right there on the spot. And anything that isn't yours, you can just let go of.
Michael,
Yes?
you said something about the meeting last night that you had, and whose power person is being looked at? I'd love to
Oh,
know what
okay.
that means.
So remember when Susan did the intensive back, about 8
Yeah.
months ago,
Yeah.
she completed that.
Mm-hmm.
And part of that intensive was everybody who attended that intensive got the free bonus of the self-study
Yeah.
that included 89 hours of the 2 codependence to interdependence communication practicums.
Mm-hmm.
So Susan and the whole group got that.
Mm.
And when Susan was at the intensive, there was a point, and we laughed about it. This last intensive, it was brought up, and it was quite hilarious. But it was really clear that Susan was ready to take my head off.
Susan
At
Stewart?
which point I turned to her, and in my best John the Baptist fashion, sort of helped to serve the football back to her, which she very graciously received and exhibited a level of willingness. It was just monumental, rarely seen in all the years I've been doing this work. So as a result of that, and the conversations and the work that Susan's been doing, I invited her to facilitate a study of the self-study. so that it wasn't just a self-study. And so that's been going on now for, I don't know,
Right.
1 month, much like the other, 7 or 8 months.
Mhm.
And we started about, again, I'm not even sure, 10 weeks or so ago, we were at the stage where we were going into the Power Person worksheet, which is now being joked as the Power Person workbook because it's 19 pages long. And
Sorry, my daughter
that's
was
okay.
talking to me.
No, go ahead. Well, go ahead.
No, you were explaining and my daughter came in and I answered her and I missed part of your answer and I think, so I've
Okay.
gotten all about it. I'll
Okay.
mute myself and you can keep
So
going.
anyway, we were at the point we've been doing for, I think, about 10 weeks now. And Susan, I was facilitating it, from the beginning of the facilitated self-study, Susan's been running it. And so when we went into the worksheet, I was facilitating and Susan was doing the worksheet, has been doing it now for about 10 weeks. And one of the steps that we covered last night, we actually completed the worksheet for our holiday intermission. And one of the last questions on the worksheet is to ask your partner what your power person dynamic is, to have them explain to you what your power person dynamic is.
In relation to them?
Yes. So I would, in doing that step, I would go to Jeannie and say, Jeannie, what do you see? Like I've just done, it's a 19-page worksheet, so I'm dealing to the second to the last question. The last step in the 19-page worksheet, if you remember, is you list 50 things that you enjoy doing, and you make a commitment to spend time looking at that list and working with that list every day. The step before that is we've done all this power person work. Now I'm going to go to my partner and ask my partner to explain to me what my power person dynamic is. And so that's what Carrie was stepping in and saying she's ready to do that and to take a look at another level at what her next piece of work is. So that's where we were last night in the facilitated codependence to interdependence self-study. And we're taking an intermission until the 4th of January, and we'll start up again. And of course, anybody who's done the codependence to interdependence online intensive or the self-study is welcome to participate in that. We've been doing every Sunday afternoon at 4 o'clock Eastern time for 2 hours from 4 to 6, and then on Wednesday evenings from 7 till 9 Eastern time. So twice a week we've been doing that since we began. We're taking intermission. The 4th we'll pick that up again and be doing Wednesdays and Sundays. And it's been really powerful. I mean, Susan has a different perspective on the work. And so she's bringing in different energies, different ideas. And I think it's just really contributed to opening a whole different level of people really looking at the power person dynamic, looking at the codependent dynamic in their own lives, looking at the forgiveness process, and how is it that through our relationships we get the opportunity to heal. So accolades and acknowledgement to Susan for taking that project on and doing it so gracefully and so powerfully. Because it's been powerful. It's been pretty amazing for everybody that's participating. Does that cover your question, Susan?
I think so. Thanks. And
Cool.
Congratulations. It sounds like a very good setup. Very rich.
It's been very, I think, very empowering for everybody.
Mm.
Do you have anything to add to that, Susan?
Susan B. or
Susan F.
Yeah.
Coming
Susan
back
F.
around. So first, Carrie, Carrie left, but I want to say thank you for comments and thank you, Michael. Yeah, for yes, it's this whole process is moved really quickly since meeting Michael and Jeannie, and then going to the intensive and wanting to be my true self, but not wondering why I wasn't there. I'm just going to say that. It's like wanting to show up that way, but the world wasn't reflecting it. So Michael, seeing my mind energy, and then challenged me at the workshop about, you say all this about being spiritual, now you get to choose it. And so then that was a shift. And then, yeah, he asked me to take on and to facilitate, said I was going to do the codependency. And it's been a beautiful, profound, I can't even describe. First of all, saying yes to the intensive, what that opened up for me. And then, of course, I'm growing and learning as I go. And then, the depth of processing that's arisen because I said yes. So I get to
And the
go
gift to everybody in the community that's doing it. It's been pretty awesome.
Yeah, and I am, I think I appreciate Carrie saying that because I'm just being myself, and what's up for me, I'm just like everybody else, even that we're all showing up and doing the work, and that's why, so even today, appreciated what for Dr. Tim, how he showed up yesterday, and then his continuation, what was up for him, like. I think as someone watching the tools and seeing someone demonstrate the way that Dr. Tim did, and also how I want to demonstrate in this work, and seeing my vulnerability, and then also that I'll bounce back and find the other hand using the tools. I just feel deeply blessed that I found this, that I found the family, and I found the work, and that I had done my work up until this point to resonate everybody in. And so this layering will take me to even deeper and more in alignment with my true nature. So I'm really grateful for everybody, and even just being in this container while I'm doing my own process feels really good. So yeah.
Well, we have been blessed by the fact you showed up and you went for the challenge.
Yes, and I'm committed as equally to what you say.
It's been a gift to everybody.
Thank you, and to say I support Michael 1000%, as he says, with getting this to every heart, mind, and soul on the planet, because this is the truest truth I've experienced. And I've been, like Carrie, I have studied with many, a whole long list of teachings throughout my time. And to find Dr. Ryce again in this incarnation, although I believe I've been with him in many incarnations, but to come back around and continue the journey to bring this to every heart, mind, and soul, I'm committed and willing. So even saying that, that's given me giving me courage for what's up right now. Because,
well, to me, it's powerful to join arms and say, yeah, we're going to walk this to the world. That
yes.
It's.
I'm committed. I'm committed. This is, and I know the truth, and it resonated when I found this. I knew for me it was the truth, and I had I think I might have said to some, I had since 2011, I've been asking in my meditations morning and night, I want to see the truth and be the truth. And then 2024, Michael Ryce comes across my feed, and many teachers along the way, of course, to get me to this point. So yeah, we'll see what comes from the unknown, what's true, and just the hard to trust the process when you're in the state that I was in there for a moment. At least I can trust that I'll get my way through it, and God, with Ruka's help and the support of this team. So thanks, everybody. Just thank you.
The thought comes, Susan, before we close out, is to invite you to select a number from 1 to 37.
Okay. 17.
And 1 to 13.
12.
Just see where that lands.
Yes, 17 and 12.
17 and 12. Okay, let's look at. So section 12 is, section 17 is overcoming a beguiling ego.
Okay.
Interesting section.
Yeah.
And Mind shifter number 12 in that section is perception. Is nothing more than a replicated construct from my past. Semicolon. Listening for and following the intelligence and guidance of my breath always results in a higher outcome. So 1712, perception is nothing more than a replicated construct from my past.
Yeah.
Listening for and following the intelligence and guidance of my breath always results in a higher outcome.
What does beguiling mean?
Beguiling means tricky. You know, it's often a word that's used in regard to a seductive woman, a beguiling, you know, dolled up,
Okay.
sophistry, a lot of implications. But so the ego's tricky. The ego's a tricky game.
Well, even it's
And
been
so-
rooted, so I think even rooted with this anxiety, keeping it hidden, and that beguiling ego.
That would
Okay.
be part of the beguiling ego, is to keep you on your off balance by this trickery that it has, that there's something threatening coming.
Yes, it did. And then that anxiety that has been running my 61 years.
Well, we focus with you and support you
Thank
in
you.
being able to allow the next 61 to be focused in the live breath of the Creator flowing love and life through you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. We went over.
All right. Thanks, everybody,
Okay.
for joining.